we're gonna jump right into the topic of fear. And fear is a super primitive, natural, powerful emotion, okay? And there's two responses to fear. And this is where I really want you to listen to the science of this and to understand this so that you can then apply it to your life so that you can find a better way to deal with fear and to navigate through your fear. So there's two types of responses that fear triggers. One is the biochemical reaction, and the other one is just the emotional response. So in the biochemical action, your body automatically, like it's a survival mechanism. So when we face something that we see as a threat, it's like your body responds to it in a specific way. And this is kind of known as like the fight or flight response. So it's like your body entering a phase to either like fight or to save you. So it can happen in so many different things, or like if you're walking down the street and you get scared, you know, it's that reaction of like, or it could be your adrenaline running, or your body knows how to react without even processing. It's reacting and it's instant. So your body's reacting faster actually than your mind is able to compromise about what's going on. So that's one way that fear has its own reaction. And then there's the emotional response to fear. And this is really important. It's because it's like so personal how you yourself handle fear, right? And so there's a lot of people that are just like adrenaline seekers. These people actually seek for the feeling of fear because for them, fear is not negative, it's positive. So when you're looking at your own self and this word fear, understand that the way you feel about fear is very different to then the way everyone else handles that fear, okay? And so this is really important though, because when you're feeling the feeling of fear, you need to be able to take a step back and have the emotional intelligence to step back. First of all, understand where is fear inside of your body. So many people don't take the time to understand where is fear and to feel the feeling of fear and understand where it is inside of your body so that you're able to then recognize, oh, I know this feeling in the pit of my stomach, or I know this feeling in my throat. I feel fear in my throat personally. I do feel it in my stomach, but I feel fear in my throat, and I know that. And so when you know where you feel fear, you're able to identify with it so much easier. So when you feel the feeling of fear, you're now able to take a step back and look at the two and understand, is this a biochemical reaction? Am I in true danger? Like, is something really happening in my life where like it's fight or flight, I need to pay attention because something could seriously happen to me? Or is this just an emotional response to something? And is it an emotional response to something that doesn't exist? And when I was able to sit back and really feel the feelings of fear and look at the things that I was fearful about, half the things that I'm fearful about, it's my emotional response. So this is really important because when you start to think thoughts, your thoughts create feelings. So if you know that your thoughts create feelings and you're feeling the feeling of fear, and the fear that you're feeling is an emotional response, you can take that and bring it back to the thought and understand what thought are you thinking that's bringing on the fear. And a lot of times our thoughts are just, we're not paying attention to them. They're so subconscious. But the more you bring awareness to your thoughts and what you're actually thinking, you'll be able to uncover the little layers of the thoughts that you're not aware that you're thinking that are actually bringing you fear. So whenever we're out in the world and we're doing things, especially when it comes to our dreams, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, our work projects, things that we love, you could be a painter and have the most amazing painting. But if in your mind you're thinking thoughts that are like, okay, we can't sell, no one's gonna buy our paintings, no one's gonna do this, no one cares, like, why would anyone buy your things? That generates emotions. And maybe that's not the best one for fear, but actually it is actually a really good one for fear. No one's gonna buy my stuff. So if no one's gonna buy your stuff, you're now feeling fearful of like, oh my gosh, is this the right career for me? Am I doing the right thing? I don't wanna post on social media. Like, it just impacts your actions. So when you understand that there's the thought and you find it, you can now breathe through and work through that thought to bring that emotional level of fear down to a neutral level, and then switch it and replace it with another feeling that you want to feel. But we can't always go from fear to excitement. Like, that's such a high jump. Do you know what I mean? Fear, like, that's in you. So you have to be able to breathe through and bring it back to a neutral place, and you have to practice it. And so then you can switch the emotion. So I'm gonna talk about that in another video, but it's very important that you understand this word fear, the emotion that you've attached to fear, and then understanding the reaction to fear. Is it biochemical or is it emotional? And if it's an emotional response, how do we then switch that and turn fear that feels bad into fear that feels really good? And that's why adrenaline seekers they're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna turn this feeling of like, oh shit, to like, oh shit, this is so cool. And that's how we fight fear, guys. That's how we get through. That's how we push through. That's how we make things happen. That's how we break the cycle. So really watch this video again if you did not understand it, but really take the time when you're feeling fear to understand where it is in your body and to make note if it's an emotional response, okay?